got a reading for you about somebody who has been just trying to avoid problems or maybe even start some, but they have a problem keeping track of all the lies that they've told. So this dishonest person is facing some pretty serious consequences. It looks like there are too many people involved or too many variations on their story. Whether this is a legal situation or at a workplace or a social situation, this person who's been dishonest and hoping that they could convince everybody to believe what they're saying is going to realize that their lies have not had the impact that they were hoping they would. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchanten. And I hope you're having a good day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I'd love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Hello, Carrie. How are you doing? Let's start with, we'll go with the gold foil tarot. What else do we have? What's up, Redbeard? How are you doing? Ooh. Ace of Swords in the reverse, clarifying the lying card is amusing. Ace of Swords being in the reverse, missing information, dishonesty, misdirection. Two of Wands in the reverse, lies that were probably not going to generate the outcome they were hoping for, but they did it anyways. With the Three of Cups, there's too many people here, too many cooks in the kitchen, or too many people that they were lying to. Perhaps they told different stories to different people, and they started comparing notes and realizing that this is someone they can't really trust to tell the truth. We have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, the Four of Swords, and the Seven of Cups in the reverse. I think this is someone who has been lying about what they own, who they are, what kind of influence they have. This is someone who has made themselves out to be the right person for this job, or I have all the money to invest, or whatever this is. They're being proven to be a fraud, that they lied about what they've got or what they bring to the table. Hello, Erkin, how you doing? Hello, Controller. Hello, Steven. How are you? What else do we have? Page of Pentacles in the reverse and the Eight of Wands with the Three of Swords in the reverse. So I do think that there's something here about money. So this could be a business or a workplace drama. This could be something to do with legal situations, like whether or not someone is paying what they should, or whether they've, lied to a judge or something. There is sneakiness that is uncovered that has financial consequences for the Seven of Swords individual. They've either omitted something or they outright lied. They might have done both. We've got the Nine of Cups and the Hanged Man in the reverse. Now they're at a difficult standpoint. It's like, I wish I changed my course of direction like earlier on. Now that I'm so deep in these lies, I don't know how to go back to like claiming innocence, or oops, I guess I got that wrong. They really have themselves in a bit of a pickle here based on the lies. We've got the Sun and the Page of Wands. So whatever they have tried to hide, whatever they didn't want discovered, probably has something to do with money, or what they offer, or how they spent money, perhaps. This information, reports, analytics, receipts, it tells a very clear story and shows that they've been lying. Oh no. This is the situations deck. What else do we have? someone who has been living beyond their means, pretending to be in a better financial situation than they actually are. And then we have the love card. Okay, so we might have someone who has been interacting with a social group or going out on dates, trying to present themselves as quite the catch. They've got a ton of money, or they own a bunch of properties, or they have this like really successful business, whatever it might be. They feel like in order to be accepted or like appreciated, that they have to exaggerate what they have or what they've accomplished in order to retain this connection. So they may be lying about what they do, how much they make, what they owe. This could be still a legal situation. Ooh. Especially if this was like trying to buy a house together or trying to demonstrate you're doing really well and independent and I own this property, but then this person can find out that it's actually like a rented property. There's something here where it's like you're trying to make it seem like you are set for life or something, and the love interest finds out, no, you're straight up lying to me about that. So it could lead to the end of the relationship. You know, that's a pretty major thing for you to mess up or mislead me on, and it makes me wonder what else you might be dishonest about, and I don't know that I can blame them for that kind of assessment. All right, this is the Marseille Cat Tarot. Hello, music. How you doing? You got the happy Halloween already. I like it. I do have the trick or treat sign. What else do we have? Two of Wands, Star in the reverse, Chariot in the reverse, and another Hanged Man in the reverse. Definitely stubborn. They didn't want to lose what they want, even if it meant that they had to break some rules or pretend that they are something that they're not. There's no path forward because their lies have created a mess. And someone has the receipts to prove that they've been lying, or this love interest is able to do a little bit of background search or, you know, look into whatever, like a realtor website. You're like, why wouldn't you just tell me the truth? The High Priestess, secretive energy. The secret comes out. It may be there's a few secrets and they just find the first one or two, and then it leads to, you know, a couple more. We have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Someone who may have spent a fortune they like to brag about. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. An obstacle or something that's been kind of minimized. Oh, that's not a big deal. Don't worry about that letter. Don't worry about that, you know, red flag. This is someone who's trying to ignore or trying to make sure nobody thinks that a problem of theirs is actually a problem. It's like, nothing to see here. Keep it moving. I can give you everything you wanted, or I have my own place, or I have my own car, or whatever this is. It's like a little too easy for someone to prove that they were lying. Two of Cups in the reverse and the Wheel. So what could have been going well between these two ends up being a bit contentious or ends in an argument because this misrepresentation was unnecessary or a bit devious. Maybe it even suggests, you know, like, you think I'm looking for something that I'm not really. I do think that the breakup is something that seems like the only option they have, because how can I trust you if you've lied this many times? Hello, Brian. I don't disagree. I would just ask you not to be judgmental in the live chat, please. This is the Tarot of the Nile. So we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse, Six of Cups, and the Three of Wands. Something that was not said or something that was misleading, maybe like trying to get someone to jump to conclusions or implying something without fully saying it. You know, all the classic like misdirection, gaslighting type things. This could be someone who's quite comfortable just lying outright or creating an entire story, but someone decided to do a little bit of digging. Someone decided to get online or maybe even go to someone's hometown, but it was determined that they lied multiple times. Hello, Michelle. How are you doing? What else do we have? Ten of Swords. This illusion comes crashing down. Now people see who they really are. And the concern is, do I actually have any friends or people that are like going to stay in my social community? They are at risk of losing more than just like some sort of financial situation. It's that people are saying they didn't really want to be honest. They didn't feel like they were going to have to be admitting the truth, maybe ever, but certainly not this quickly. So the King of Wands, I do feel like this is our person who has been doing a little research. The King of Wands is not afraid to take action, so it might be more than just doing some research online, you know? Hello, Patrick. How are you doing? Hello, James. Thank you, Vishal. So we've got Seven of Wands, Queen of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles. King and Queen of Wands, I believe, could be the same person, or these are individuals who are from the same social community. But after hearing what someone else has to say and realizing that they've been lied to, there are friends or love interests or perhaps workplace colleagues or partners that are saying, nope, sorry, I can't be associated with that, or I can't justify hiring you if you lied about your experience. I don't want to be in a relationship with you if you've lied about who you are, what you've been through, or I don't know, what your job is. So finally we have the Hanged Man in the upright. Now we have someone seeing that their lies have caused more trouble than anything else. That they may have ruined their only opportunity here. Maybe they're realizing that if they had just been honest, they might have been able to make something work just as well, if not better, than the path that they chose. But the Nine of Swords is about anxiety and frustrations, stress, not really knowing how to handle the situation that they kind of created for themselves, I'm not gonna lie. This is the Spanish Tarot. Well, that sounds good. Hello, Mystic. How are you doing? This is the Spanish Tarot. Knight of Cups in the reverse. High Priest in the reverse. So that would be like the Hierophant, by the way. I think this is I don't know, like almost like the mistake of lying, not doing very well, or lying in such a way that someone could figure out that they were lying, or lying in the first place being a bad idea. Maybe they would have just accepted me for who I am. Maybe I should have lied about something that was further away. They're processing all of these feelings and trying to see what the better action would have been, because right now they don't have a lot of choices on how to handle this situation. They're basically going to have to admit, yeah, I lied. You caught me. Whoops. Did I do that? I guess so. So we have the Five of Cups, the Ten of Cups in the reverse, the Page of Wands in the reverse, and the Five of Wands. Interesting. So the High Priest or the Hierophant is number 5. Then we have the Five of Cups and we have the Five of Wands. So the number 5 is about change. It's about accepting that sometimes what we expected may not match with what reality really is, you know? So there's this concern that maybe, just maybe, I've made things worse for myself. Maybe I was too concerned with fitting in or being a certain type. Maybe being authentic or a little bit more honest would have gone a longer way. We've got the Five of Wands, meaning someone's worried now about an argument or feeling like they might have competition. You're welcome, Michael. Hello, Jose. Hello, Tarot by Nature. Hello, Egyptian Empress. How are you doing? But I guess if you spend a lot of time lying, you can kind of expect there's going to be some drama from it, right? This is someone who's wondering, what did I actually gain from all of this? And have I now just made it that much more likely for someone else to get what I want because I lied? How many different romantic movies are there, like rom-coms, where there's a protagonist who has to decide between two love interests, and one of them seems a little bit shady and another one is maybe just like completely lacking in riz? And it always comes down to, if you lie or misrepresent yourself, then it's going to come out, and then that person's going to be like, well, I just don't think I can trust you. This person like just needs to get out more and realize that when you lie, there are consequences. You don't even have to watch movies to figure out this like somewhat predictable outcome. But anyways, hello, Paula. How are you doing? Hello, Inception. I am not. So we've got the Six of Cups in the reverse, the Nine of Wands. They felt like this was going to be easier to defend or easier to pull off. Now they're finding that they've been kind of ostracized, or people don't take them seriously. These lies have been exposed. Maybe they're losing a job. Maybe they're losing some friendships. Maybe there's a breakup here. But they're having to face the reality of why integrity and honesty are important to people. So with the Four of Pentacles, they're feeling like they have very little, or they're feeling like they have to kind of hold back now. Two of Wands in the reverse. The World in the reverse. And the High Priestess. So I realize now that maybe that was the wrong course to take. Now it seems like there's some never-ending problems because of my choices. I still, like, you know, maybe I can salvage something from this, but most people are looking at me as a person that lied and then got found out. Someone that cannot be trusted, maybe someone who can't be hired. They're not really feeling very positive about what could happen for them over the next several weeks. Pickled Pisces, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Yes. It's funny how often intuition gets underestimated, but I'm happy to see you in the live chat. So we've got the Demon card and the Dagger. The temptation of living, the fear of regret, dancing among the ashes from the flames of hell. So I do think that there is fear at the basis of this person's campaign of lies, or feeling like they had to dress up what wasn't really that great, conveying some things that they hoped would stick, but that illusion has faltered. Now they're thinking, okay, what am I going to do? I could walk away, tail between my legs, regretful, or should I take some action? They're thinking, maybe I need to go and tell the truth. Maybe I need to go and double down on my lies. They're looking through the like little short list in their mind of what they could possibly do to react in this situation when they've been caught red-handed, lying about multiple things. And if they are learning their lesson, they will know the only real path forward in that situation is, can you apologize and own it, right? So we've got the Mirror, Labyrinth, and Witch. Illusions and reflections. Who are you trying to fool? When you turn your back to the mirror, there's still someone looking at you. They didn't think someone was watching them. They didn't think someone was going to be able to dig and get the information or find the receipt so easily. I do feel like that's something that happens with people who lie, is they just kind of assume that certain things will be believed, and maybe sometimes it does work, you know? We've got beneath the veil of night, my thoughts conjure light. Shining through the darkness, I am magic burning bright. The issue is expecting people to just accept what they are told, or expecting everyone to be a little bit lazy in terms of trust but verify, can get you into trouble. And they've run into somebody who was like, that doesn't seem right. I think there's more to the story, or I think this person might be lying or hiding it, right? If you assume that no one will look into what you are talking about and you will always be able to lie, you will at some point be proven wrong. Because there are some people who are like, I'm gonna check that. Let's just see. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas. Hello, Lewis. How are you doing? Hey, Third Eye. How's your day? Hello, Paula. I'm sending you protective energy. I hope that goes well. I usually go for about 30 to 40 minutes on a general collective reading. And then if people are interested in personal questions, I do those with priority to those who tip or donate. And I do like to do freebies every once in a while. Hello, Axis. How are you doing? So we've got the Four of Swords in the reverse. Four of Needles in this deck, technically. And the Two of Candles. They have caused themselves a pretty significant setback. This is not just like lying about, I don't know, what hometown you're from. This is not just like, I lied about how you spell my name. This is a, like, I'm creating an identity for you because I feel like you wouldn't necessarily associate with or be interested in me if you knew who I really am. What else? Ace of Potions, which is the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Knight of Candles, which is the Knight of Wands. The Fool, all three of the first ones there in the reverse. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, or the Four of Presents, in the upright. Yeah, I think they've lost favor, and it's with more than one person. But there's one person in particular that they're very upset about. If this is someone who gets a little bit caught up in their anger or likes to throw things, they're expressing that anger. But starting to realize that the person who's at fault is them. I can't blame anyone else. They're smart enough to figure out my lies, then I guess either I need to lie better or I need to start telling the truth, right? I go with the truth. That would be my recommendation. So we've got the Page of Presents, which is the Page of Pentacles, and the Star. So how can I get you to forgive me? How can I get another chance with you? If I apologize, will you let me be your friend again? Or can we get back to dating or falling in love? This is someone who's like, pretty please, with a cherry on top? Can we be cool again? But it's words. Where's the action? What are you going to do to solve the problem? Are they going to be more honest? Are they comfortable with being like their actual selves, right? Knight of Presents or the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four of Candles or Four of Wands. I think there is either a close friend or someone in their life that says, hey, if you want to, you know, get back in with that group of people or with that person in particular, I think the only way that you can do it is if you're honest. Tell them what actually happened, show them who you really are, but none of this like fake stuff. And that might be a little bit difficult for this person to entertain, because I do feel like they're most comfortable when they feel like they have the ability to hide. It is handy dandy, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. This is the Earth and Bones Tarot. Queen of Petals or Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. The Knight of Crystals or Knight of Swords in the reverse. And the King of Jars, which is the King of Cups. Man, in the reverse as well. And then the King of Swords. So basically we've got someone who's saying, I can't trust you, you're not reliable, you've been lying about things, you say things without even speaking, you lied to me and you didn't even try to make it believable, or you made it seem like it was the truth without really acknowledging how easy it would be for someone to find out the real truth. So I do feel like there's someone here who's like, you know, are you gonna shoot straight with me? Are you gonna actually like fix this problem? And the only way you can do that is if it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Don't come at me with like another lie or another illusion. It's got to be veritable truth, verifiable, you know? So they have a decision to make. Are they going to run away? Are they going to go and try to meet some new people and pretend to be someone over there? Or are they going to actually show who they are to someone who seems to be interested in at least giving them the chance to step up and be that? This is someone they either love or look up to. We have the Four of Wicks, which is the Four of Wands. And the Fool in the reverse with the World. I think they're actually about ready to change their ways. They're thinking, man, this has been really complicated and it's all my fault. Maybe it is time for me to stop with the lies and just be like confident in who I am and what I have to offer. And then I don't have to worry about the fallout. Then I don't have to worry about explaining myself or the awkward conflict. Maybe someone would actually just like me for who I am. Yes. And you know what? I think you also deserve to like yourself, right? We all have the power to make little changes here and there. We all have the power to influence or change our mindset. Take a look at what kind of environmental things might be impacting you. This is someone who's realizing, maybe I could actually just like do things differently. Maybe I don't have to lie to people all the time. And it's because they're shown some compassion and an actual like friendly energy here from someone who knows this is somebody who's lying. This is somebody who probably has some healing to go through. And instead of getting mad at you and being, you know, quick to punch you to the next town, what if we just sit down and talk for a little bit about how your life might be easier if you choose a different path, if you are honest with yourself? And I feel like this Ace of Jars or Ace of Cups is not just that there's this like friendly, supportive energy. It's someone looking at them and saying, you have the ability to just like change how you view yourself. Then you don't have to lie, right? Hello, YLD. I don't know who Lisa is, but cool. Hello, Pada. How you doing? Hello, Santiago. What's up, Flower? How you doing today? Let's get a different tarot deck, shall we? Actually, we'll go with the Golden Lenormand. Because it does seem like this person is leaning towards, maybe it's time for me to let go of this fear or insecurity or this need to control how people view me. Hello, Evelyn. How are you doing? So we've got number 23, which is the mice. This talks about loss. If I go through enough consequences of, you know, maybe pushing me to consider being more authentic or being more honest, maybe this is what actually motivates them to take action. Maybe this contrast of most people being fed up and over their behavior and one person saying, hey, I think you can change this. I know you can approach things differently and you won't have to deal with the fallout. We've got the whip and we've got the garden. Yeah, I think they're basically facing a bunch of friends, or perhaps it's coworkers, acquaintances that really don't know what to do with them. I don't know if I want to deal with you. I don't know if I will like hang out with you, work with you, whatever. Because you seem to just cause problems where there don't need to be any. And then we have that one person who's like, hey, you want to make it right? Here's how you make it right. Tell people what happened. Be honest. Come clean. Admit that maybe there was a better way to handle things. You will get more respect from people when you own your own than if you don't. Sorry, YouTube doesn't like it when I swear. Gets all mad at me. Oh, also, I don't know how many OGs we have. Okay, we got a couple though. Whenever I pull the whip card, I tell a joke on my channel. Hello, Ian. How are you doing? Ooh, I wonder if someone in the live chat can help me with that. Because, Ian, forgive me, this is a little unusual on my channel, but there is a joke thing that I have to tell whenever I pull this particular card. So that'll be a great, like, intro for you. The whip. No, no, not the whip. The whip. No, no, not the whip. The whip. No, no, please, anything but the whip. Anything? The whip. I only tell that joke when one of 4 cards come out. And to put it in perspective, I'm closer than I'd like to admit to about 90 decks of tarot and oracle cards, so. All right, we're gonna go with the tarot of the cat people next. Hey Evelyn, I often do personal questions actually around this time. I'll probably finish up with the general reading soon. If you'd like to do a personal question on here, you can super chat or tip. Otherwise, there's an email address in my description box, wickedwandstarot@gmail.com, if you're looking for a long, you know, up to an hour, actually up to 70 minutes personal reading. And then that's just for you. Nobody else watches it. Hello, Jay. How are you doing? Yeah, and approximately 78 cards per deck, although with oracle decks, they tend to be more like 50. So we've got the 9 of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Empress. This is that loving, compassionate energy. I don't know why, but in my mind, it's like Dame Maggie Smith telling me to like sit next to her. We need to talk. Maybe it's because I just appreciated Downton Abbey. Maybe it's because she's got that mix of, obviously I care about you, but I'm not going to like sugarcoat what you need to hear. This is someone who's saying, if you want to have a better existence, if you want to have less drama in your life, then how about telling the truth? You don't have to tell everybody your business, but you don't have to be like lying and creating some false image for yourself, right? Hey, Isaac, I'm going to remove your comments. If you can participate in the live chat without coming through as judgmental, you are welcome to stay back. And you might encounter some pretty cool people in the live chat. Otherwise, I might block you. But either way, I wish you a good day. Good day, sir. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Page of Cups. So they're taking some time, they're thinking about it, they're looking at their choices and realizing that even though it may take some effort, even though it may take some accountability, or being honest with themselves might be a little bit painful, they're thinking that maybe it's worth it. Maybe I would be happier if I didn't always have to feel like lying was the only way I would be good enough for other people, right? So they're thinking about the possibilities if they were to make that change, if they were to do as this High Priestess, wise, caring individual has told them. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, Ten of Wands. Maybe it's time for me to pay closer attention to my intuition. Maybe it's time for me to be more comfortable with who I am and stop wearing a mask. Hello, Oracle. How are you doing? Do you, Stephen? Minnesota's pretty great. I will say that, especially this time of year. So we have the Seven of Cups and the Queen of Cups. I know that illusions have been fun. Maybe they really liked coming up with a new version of themselves. Maybe they enjoyed seeing what they could pull off. But it didn't really get me what I wanted. And here this person who seems to genuinely care about me is telling me how I could make a change, telling me how I could maybe actually have like a group of friends that wants to be my friend for who I am. Or I could be in a relationship with someone who loves me for who I am instead of who I pretend to be. Hello, Phoenix. How are you doing? A-star. Two things can be true at once. I would just encourage you to be respectful in the live chat because we do block people for being judgy, okay? We got the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. If I don't make a change, if I continue to live in illusion or pretend to be someone I'm not, then I might just have to continue a cycle of loss where people inevitably figure out that I've lied, people inevitably walk away, and I have to start rebuilding again. Maybe I could actually just be happy here and be myself and be accepted. That's a powerful sentiment, a powerful change of mind. And I'm proud of that person. All right, this is the Love Oracle. Just a little warning. Hello, Bonnie. How are you doing? So we have open heart, receptive, empathy, vulnerable. Silence, frozen, no words, stonewall. And conflicted, decisions, hot, cold, multiple choice. So they're feeling conflicted because they could continue to just do as they've been doing and lie about who they are and pretend to be something they're not in order to feel like they belong. Or they could lean into whatever this connection is, this friendship or romance where someone is saying, maybe things could be different. Maybe we could change that pattern for you so that instead of having to restart all the time, you can grow and learn to love yourself. Hey, star, that's not what I said. I actually have a cross right here. I believe in God. I don't have any problem with that. But we do get a lot of people in here who like to say things like repent, and we're not here for that. So you can talk about your beliefs. I just ask that you be respectful of others. So we've got healing, releasing, purifying, and cleansing. Wow. I think it's full steam ahead. They've decided, I don't want to keep living that way. I don't want to live a lie. This person is offering me the space to let go of that self-sabotaging behavior or that need to be someone I'm not, instead of ghosting and running away from people and then creating a new identity. Maybe I could actually just be myself. Maybe I could let this friend of mine or this love interest of mine guide me on my journey and embrace who I am. It's nice to see the influences card or the third party card in a positive light. This is someone who's saying we need to address whatever has made you feel like you don't think you're good enough, whatever has made you feel like you have to pretend to be something different. If we can address that and you learn to appreciate who you are and what you bring to the table and, you know, be more authentic, then you're gonna find that people want to be your friend, people want to be around you because you're real. I don't know, but they sure do, don't they, third eye? You as well. Hello, Karen. This is a general reading, but if you go to my channel's like regular page, it's got playlists and you can find one for all signs. So this second chance is something they're taking seriously. I think it's worthwhile, even if it's a lot of work, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable for me to be honest or share my secrets with someone or, you know, reveal who I really am after trying to wear a mask around this group. But maybe they'll accept me for who I actually am. That's pretty uplifting, and I love that. Whoever this reading is for, I'm proud of you. Good work. All right, I think lastly, we need the Voyage of the Soul, because this talks about ascension, spiritual growth. Hello, Mijo. How are you doing? Let me know if it's supposed to be like a regular J, but I see that and I think of Spanish. So we have metamorphosis, transformation, change, renewal, revolution, and rebirth. Ancestors, foundation, root, family, lineage, and security. When they start to think about who they are and what they actually have to offer, they may realize that they've been a little bit harsh on themselves. Maybe they had someone who was talking down to them or making them feel small, and that's where that insecurity or fear first started. But now they're more so looking towards the future. What can I do to get to a place where I want to be or to accomplish what is important? I love this. The Seeking card. Soul searching, treasures, uncover, dormant, gifts, and answers. The more they look within, the more they realize that there are things about themselves that are lovable or special or that should be like supported, right? Reasons that maybe were ignored by people in their past or that they never really felt like they had. Now they're seeing that embracing who they are and the gifts or the talents that they possess could open up a whole new world for them. This friendship or this, perhaps it's a romantic relationship with the Empress High Priestess, turns out to be super valuable to them because they're starting to realize that they really are worth it, that they are lovable, right? All right, I said that was the last one, but I think I actually have to pull a few cards from Spiritual AF, which is one of my favorites. Hello, Lemonade. How are you doing? Hello, Rachel. Hello, Joke. What's up? That's all right, Lemonade. We still love you. What else do we have? Three ways to fail at everything in life. Complain about everything. Blame others for your problems. 3, never be grateful. So they're realizing maybe I've made things more difficult for myself by refusing to look at what I'm going through and what I could do better. Stop trying to skip the struggle. Sorry, they don't like the F word on here either. Hello, Cheryl. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's always a good approach. So we've got quit dimming your light for people with, I'm just going to say it, shitty ass mindsets. If you're surrounded by people who judge based on kind of lame reasons to judge people or seem to prioritize things that are backwards, then maybe that's just not your group. Maybe that's not your friend group. If you are, on the other hand, dealing with an inner circle where you've got people like this Empress, High Priestess, does not need to be a woman, but somebody who is wise and has learned from their problems, someone who has had obstacles and losses but been able to overcome those, like embrace that. The thing is, they tend to want people who are authentic, right? I don't have time for fake people. People aren't ignoring you, love bug. We could have a little bit of a tendency to think that people don't like them. I really do feel like they had some family issues or a family dynamic that made them feel less than. So you want to be a badass? Show your heart to everyone. All right. I think I'm going to leave it there for you all. I appreciate the likes and the subscribes. If you're able to hype the video, I think it's just within the first 7 days that you can do that. I appreciate that as well. And I wish you all the best day ever. I'll see you in the next reading. Toodles.